People come up to me all the time and say, I'm trying to get to 10 to 20 million. And my first question on my mouth is, what does your coach say? And they say, I don't have one. I said, of course you don't. Right. That's why you can't get to 20 million. I mean, it's just so, and I don't care who they hire. They don't have to hire Fireproof. They don't have to hire but it's like, you need advice. You need somebody who's done it, who's built it, who understands what you're trying to do.
Welcome to The Roll Call, the podcast where we dive into the roles that define us. I'm your host, John Glahn. On each episode, we explore the journeys of people discovering their true roles in life, business, and beyond. Get ready for inspiring conversations about finding purpose and authenticity. Let's roll the roll call. Welcome to the Roll Call podcast. I have with me a very, very special guest, a local celebrity here in the state of Michigan, for lack of a better word, Mike Morse of Mike Morse Law Firm and Fireproof. Mike has known great successes, largest law firm in Michigan and across the country, very well recognized. And this has been a long time coming for me. I'm excited to have him on. So everyone's here and accounted for. Let's start the roll call.
Okay, great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So Mike, I think we chatted a little bit, right? You started as in the law space and, really, I don't know, it's probably a fraction of what you're doing now. Like, tell us about your story, quick as you want to make it.
Well, that's a big, broad question. I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
So, born and raised here in Detroit, came back to practice law with my dad after going to the University of Arizona for 4 years and went to the University of Detroit Law School. Him and I were going to be partners at the end of law school, and unfortunately, he died when I was in law school. So that didn't work out, and I had to set up my own shop. I took a 3-year journey, worked for another law firm. They fired me, weirdly and probably not coincidentally, on my dad's birthday. So it was a double banger of a bad day. That was September 21st, 1995. After 3 years after law school, I had to hang a shingle.
Yeah. Got
to hang a shingle. That was 30 years ago this year, and things have been pretty good. The first 12, 13 years of my practice, I handled it like a typical lawyer. I just kind of ran around like a chicken with my head cut off, looking for my next case, looking for my next fee to pay the bills and support my family. And then in 2007, I met Gino Wickman, who invented the EOS system, Entrepreneurial Operating System, which you're familiar with. Yep. And Gino, I was his first law firm that he ever coached, and he wasn't sure how it was going to go. His typical engagement, I think he told me, was like 2 or 3 years with a client. Yeah. And we're going on 18 years strong.
Wow.
He calls us his special firm, his special client. So we are still with Gino. We still meet with him quarterly. I am a huge proponent of what you do in coaching businesses. I have no idea how businesses and law firms succeed without coaching. It's in my book. It's the last chapter. If people ask me people come up to me all the time and say, I'm trying to get to 10 to 20 million. And my first question on my mouth is, what does your coach say? And they say, I don't have one. I said, of course you don't. Right. That's why you can't get to 20 million. I mean, it's just so, and I don't care who they hire. They don't have to hire Fireproof. They don't have to hire but it's like, you need advice. You need somebody who's done it, who's built it, who understands what you're trying to do. Yeah. So when I hired Gino in 2007, we were probably settling, I don't know, $17, $20 million worth a year in cases. This year, we're going to do over $300 million.
Oof.
So It's over $100 million in fees. It's 250 employees, growing at least 20% every single year. Wow. And it's on autopilot. So in 2019, my COO, or integrator in EOS terms, John Knockhazel, and I wrote a book called Fireproof. It's mainly directed to law firms, but I have lots of business people telling me they read it. And the subtitle is How to Get Your Firm from Unpredictable to Wildly Profitable. And we are, the book came out in 2020 during COVID, and it was a smash success. It was number one on Amazon for years. We've sold tens of thousands of copies. And we are now coaching over 100 law firms. It's kind of EOS style, but for lawyers. Yeah, so Gino endorses it. Yeah. Gino wrote our preface in the book.
I did catch that. Yeah.
And so he, it's not a total ripoff job of EOS. Huge fan of EOS. EOS has gotten hundreds and hundreds of clients because of my book.
Yeah.
EOS implementers give out my book.
Yeah.
Because it's a success story for EOS.
Right. Yeah.
And so we're mainly focused on helping law firms grow and scale and put together all the processes. We hold lawyers' hands a little bit more than EOS.
Sure.
As you know,
Right.
EOS is 4 times a year.
Yeah.
You're really not talking to your coach more than that.
Right.
We are giving them a accountability coach every week in their meetings.
Wow.
And the quarterlies.
Wow.
And all the other things. And then we give them 90 software that's fireproofed.
Yep.
And we hold them accountable. We'll give them lots of vendors recommendations. We'll introduce them to people. We have live events twice a year.
Wow.
So it's not EOS because I found that, lawyers like community. Lawyers can't go to a town in their city. There's not 10 other law firms that do the same thing that are willing to sit down and talk about what's
Openly.
working and what's not working. Show their numbers.
Right.
So we do that with our clients. We do masterminds as well as coaching where law firms who don't compete get in a room, basically get naked, show all their numbers, what's working, what's not working, and help each other because there's no competition there.
Yeah.
And growing up here in Detroit as a lawyer, lawyers didn't want to help me. We to this day, it's a pretty cutthroat business, and they're not overly nice to each other, especially when you get to my level, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so, anyway, we thought that this fireproof was needed. It's being, we started the masterminds in January of 2025. We have over 70 firms already signed up and doing them.
Wow.
I'm flying to Phoenix next week to do one, and it's just really amazing. It's the best time of my life, really, in business. I am still working at the law firm. The law firm is still humming along. We're still cranking out tons of settlements and verdicts, and I'm there coaching and mentoring and meeting with clients. But it's kind of working on its own, which is a great thing.
That's the so many things wrapped up in there, and that's obviously why you're doing what you're doing. You're right. It's amazing how few people know about, or, everyone they're used to starting a business and bootstrapping and, like you said, just cranking along and trying to get to the next settlement, get to the next widget sale, whatever it might be. And, as much as I've been a part of the EOS community for years, as we talked about, and now I'm in the Bloom growth side, it's the same thing. Gino ripped off all these other guys because he's like, hey, all these great things, I'm just putting into a great package that's usable. But it's amazing that how few people actually know about things like that in business. Whether it be, again, attorneys doing what you're doing, whether it's EOS, whether it's another operating system, whatever it might be, or just simple coaching for whatever it might be, whether it's personal, whether it's a very specific piece of their business, marketing or whatever. I think most people are wired to say, how can I figure this out? Right? They got to where they are because they're the ones figuring it out, and it's hard to get them out of that rhythm of, wait a minute, someone can help me, right? So what do you find now that you found your spot where you're impacting other people, more so on the fireproof side, or in a different way, I guess we'll say? Why do you think people come to you on that side? Is it pain, or is it the seeing the upside?
Well, I mean,
that's a clear question.
The number one thing they say is, we want to be like you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be like you.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them don't want to do the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, this is 33 years in the making. My goal is to cut down their time to get to whatever level they want to get to. And it seems to be working. Where people are going up 30, 40% a year just with some basic tools and knowledge and being introduced to the right people and the right vendors. So I think they see what I have and they want it, and I'm happy to give it to them. And only a few will get there because only a few know how to execute.
Yeah.
That's something that I've been talking about at some of my national speeches I've been giving lately is I came up with this line that I keep seeing people in the audience over and over again. So I do probably 10 public speeches a year. And a lot of people say, oh, this is the sixth time I've heard you speak. They show me my book. Oh, I've read your book 5 times. But yet they haven't hired a coach. and they have enjoyed a mastermind. And I basically on the stage, I said, look, if you're not going to take action on anything I'm saying, I'm basically entertaining you, like a comedian or an actor or something. I said, I'm not looking to entertain you. I said, I'm looking for you to grow and scale and do something. So pick one thing. If you take any notes today and you like one thing I say, do it.
Yeah.
And obviously the most important thing is to, I mean, besides all the, having a great Jumbotron, which you probably call a scorecard and all those things, it's getting help because, the entrepreneurs who go to these events want to learn and grow and scale, but yet they don't take action. And that's something I've been seeing over and over again is a lack of execution. I have lots of people have said to me over the last 5-6 years, why'd you write that book? Why do you want to give away your secrets? Aren't you afraid of competition? Well, it's been 6 years. And if you look at the landscape here, they're still running ugly, boring, vanilla ads. They're not helping their community like I am. They're not doing the things that I'm doing. They're not executing. They've all read my book, I'm sure. And they're just, I don't know, doing their own thing and doing it the way they want to do it and don't really care about growing and scaling and helping more people and doing a better job. So,
I want to connect something that how you just said it. And that was also what I was coming back to, when people don't take action, whether that's to go do the one thing themselves or to hire the next person, in a similar vein of what you were just referencing, right? Going from scarcity to abundance mentality, all right? Viewing it as an expense versus the investment. If I do this today, what actually could happen versus, I got to spend X amount of money and it's coming out of where or what, right? And so I think there's there's so countless stories through time, through business of people that, again, the more they give, the more they get. And I'm curious for you, because I'm just making this connection probably on your behalf because I'm just hearing it. But was there a time that you flipped a switch for you when there was like that pure abundance? Like, wait a minute, I don't have to hold all this to myself.
So I talk a lot about abundance. I talk a lot about Carol Dweck's book and the growth mindset. And I'm trying to think if my parents were givers. My parents were always charitable and talking about giving back. I think I just experienced it. And I experienced giving to various organizations, various charities, doing my backpacks, paying for adoptions for dogs, doing adoption events in my parking lot at the law firm. And I keep growing and growing and getting and getting. And then I have more money, so I give more. And then I make more money the next year and I give more. Yeah. And I give more of my time. I give more of my energy. I give more of my money. And I keep making more. And I don't need all that. So I keep giving away more. And so it's just, to me, it's absolutely the more you give, the more you get. I say that all the time. I do believe in abundancy. I live in an abundant world. I give as much as I can. And when lawyers get tight, when they don't want to pay somebody enough money, which is a debate I'm sure you have with your clients, or when they don't give freely to their community, whatever their community needs, they're tight. And their business is going to be tight and their life is going to be tight. I am the opposite, right? I just, my ex-wife, always had this great saying that I think about all the time. She says to this day, there's enough love for everybody. And there's enough cases for everybody. There's enough coaching clients for everybody. I don't care who you coach with. Right. I don't care if I ever sign up another coaching client. I really don't. Yeah. But get a coach, things like that. Cases, like all my competitors across this country, they're fighting for every case. And sure, I'm competitive. Sure, I want cases. And I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you that I don't. But I don't lose sleep if I don't get that case. If they hire somebody else. The truth is, I believe that I will do a better job than that other firm, but they'll find that out. And I'm happy and I'm giving and I live in this great mindset, and it makes my life better. And my friend Paul down in Florida has this saying, no 0 days. And to me, that means, right, I'm not stressed about work. I'm not stressed about that case. You win some, you lose some. And it's just a great way to live. And that's how I choose to live. It's a choice. And I try to coach my entrepreneurial lawyers that like everything we do is a choice. It's a choice how you feel. It's a choice how you give. It's a choice how you live your life. It's a choice how big you want your business. I totally believe that. We all know, I don't care what business they're in, right? You know how to get more business. We all do.
Yeah.
How much do you want to spend on those clients? How much energy? How much time? We all know it. That's almost the easiest thing, is getting more business. It's what do you do once you get the business? How do you treat your employees? How do you treat your clients? What do you do with the money you make? And anyway, I love talking about that because I think it's an aha moment for a lot of people. Because a lot of people think, what are you talking about? The lawyers are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you can go buy cases. You can go buy leads. You can go spend 3 hours a day meeting lawyers and asking them for cases and going to seminars and doing, put up billboards, whatever. You know what to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, I guess I do. But their minds are so shut down and so tight and restricted and closed that they don't see it. So it's fun getting on stages. It's fun meeting people and teaching them about abundance. I'm glad you brought it up because it's not my everyday, speech or talk that I give, but it's super important.
Well, yeah, and actually, and again, because I just picked up on it because it exudes from you when to see how you've been and how you've gotten here. I want to talk about because you're saying, like, hey, you know what, I'm doing this, and people are saying, oh, what's Mike doing? It sounds like he's doing everything he wants to do, which is great. But at the same time, it doesn't just happen. Right. So there was action that had to be taken at some point, back to what you were saying, right? That doesn't mean the grind goes away just because you jump on an operating system or you get a coach, right? You still have to do the work to get to a spot. So when did it feel different for you? When maybe you didn't feel like you were in the grind anymore and you were going over the hump?
In my book, in the first chapter, I believe, we talk about delegation. And I tell a story in the book, doing Gino's exercise, the 4 quadrants. It changed my life that day. 2 hours into my session, I brought my leadership team, which was just 3 people at my firm, that I grabbed and said, hey, you've been here long. Let's go. We're going over to Gino's office. Like, right. What? We're shutting down the office for 8 hours? I'm like, and I just remember, Gino encouraging me to share my story with them, and that I was drowning in work, and that I had 20 some odd direct reports, and everybody was coming to my office for everything. And you could imagine everything. Yeah. And I had 250 cases, and I was trying them and writing them and dispersing to the clients and hiring everybody. And I could go on and on. I was doing everything. And all 3 of my people that I brought during that hour, delegate and elevate exercise, raised their hands to be managers of their departments. And I walked out of that meeting feeling 50% lighter.
Yeah.
And I think I was hooked on delegation from that moment. That's 18 years ago, but I'm the best delegator you'll ever meet. I have basically delegated myself out of a job. Now I get to go into my work and do anything I want, which is my definition of success.
Right.
We all know what a sweet spot is. That's the intersection of things you love to do and you're great at. But I take that a step further and I add in like freedom. And for me, it's about waking up and being able to come do your podcast on a Tuesday morning. Yeah. And traveling or going to, take my daughters to lunch whenever the heck I want.
Yeah.
And trying a case. I tried a case last year. Most 33-year practicing lawyers aren't trying that many cases. I tried a case last year. I am meeting with my clients all the time, talking to my clients, mentoring my lawyers. That's what I love to do. I don't want to do the other stuff right now, and I have 250 amazing employees who are doing it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's my definition of success is working my sweet spot and having the freedom every morning to do whatever I want to do. And I don't take meetings I don't want to take. I don't take podcasts I don't want to take. I don't take trips I don't want to take. I don't take on clients I don't want to take. And so I'm living like exactly where I want to be right now. And this is, and so it's fun for me to be able to coach business owners and law firm owners because I'm living proof of this is, if you like what I'm saying, and not everybody does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you like what I'm saying, I can get you there.
Yeah.
It's very doable. You just got to trust me. There's a process. We'll get you there. And I'm seeing, so then I have lawyers come up to me all the time that I've changed their life. And that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
What lawyers are changing other lawyers' lives, right? So it's fun. It's gratifying. It's abundance. There's so much love coming at me all the time. It's like, this is a great way to give back in the second half of my career.
You know what? That is, there's certain stages of life, and I probably should bone up on this because I think of it often. My Visage chair speaks of the 6 stages of life, and from adolescence all the way up, and getting to the 5th stage and the 6th stage. 5th stage is the giving back part, right? After your, during or after your career, and many people don't ever get there. And some people, at best, they're getting there like in their retirement age because they're starting to realize, oh wait, what's my impact now? Speaking of what success, definition of success, right? So it's like, oh well, at that point of your career, you're like, oh wait a minute, what is my legacy? So people start at that age. But recognizing that and actually stepping into that far before you need to hit that retirement precipice is it's like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of the humans that are at that space. So to be able to, again, in a dog eat dog world, in the attorney space, to be giving back to those that's admirable. Right?
I read that continuum that you've mentioned not in a long time, and I'm in my 50s. I got a lot of years left to work, but I'm going to design it to work in a way exactly how I want to work. I am not grinding like the old days.
Yeah.
And that's, I think everybody should design their work. And even if you're only a 5-year lawyer, 10-year lawyer, design your work how you be happy.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, I never really thought about it, but start giving back earlier and start helping others earlier. It's super gratifying, makes your life better.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way I just read an interesting book, Die with Zero. Have you heard of this book? Another lawyer sent it to me. A guy in his 70s sent it to me from Las Vegas recently. And it's almost like what we're talking about. I've never actually equated the two, but like most people inherit money when they're in their 60s, after they've grinded it out and struggled and couldn't make their mortgage payments and had to take out loans. And I feel different. For my children, I want them to enjoy their lives in their 20s. And if they need money for a house or a business or whatever, I'm going to support them. And I feel that way about my whole kind of existence. It's like, why wait? The way you just were saying is like, people wait to give back. People wait to mentor others. Most people don't ever get there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be amazing if 10% of the population started doing that in their 40s or 50s? Think about how much better our younger generations would be. And that's, I didn't realize I was actually doing it until you brought that up. Yeah. But I'm doing it in a lot of different aspects of my life. It's like why wait? And I'm not waiting.
Yeah, actually, I want to come back to your delegation thing now. Right? You're the king of delegation. And now you said it a different way, but you had to learn it, right? There was the aha moment, and now it flipped that switch. And that's just what's another tool. Pick it out of Fireproof that can be similarly impactful if someone just gets it. Because I know most people are like, oh, I get it. But if they were to take action on something that's in a part of your Fireproof curriculum, what would be the game changer?
I think most people don't know how to market and advertise. And I think that's a general one that there's a lot of different ones, but I think that one is so fun because everybody has to market and somehow advertise, right? We call it in the Fireproof book, Cherry Garcia over vanilla. Basically, you want a memorable message. Cherry Garcia, you can picture it, right?
Yep.
You can picture the chocolate chunks and the cherries and the cherry ice cream, and whether you like it or not, you can remember it.
Right.
Vanilla is everybody. Every commercial on this TV here in Detroit is vanilla, except for mine. They're just all boring. They all say the same thing. And we wanted to be funny.
Yeah.
We wanted to be self-deprecating. We wanted to bring my mom into it. We wanted to do all kinds of funny stuff. And because Detroiters are smart and they know what I do. Yeah. I don't got to sit there and, if you're in an auto accident, we're going to guarantee there's no fee and all the boringness. It's like, please give me a break. and so I just couldn't do it. I couldn't spend millions of dollars a year on boring stuff. And I have an hour speech that I give on this about, finding your differentiators and looking at your competition and writing down their characteristics and what are your characteristics. And then, making your marketing messages on social media, on emails, on digital, on whatever you're on, different and memorable and a little bit Cherry Garcia. And I used to be friends with one of the big advertisers, and I won't mention his name, but we used to, I used to go out public with him, and we'd be around town, and people would come up and, notice him. Hey, I never heard a person say, I love your ads. If I go to Detroit, I go to a game, I go downtown, I go anywhere, I get a lot of nice attention. I've never had bad attention. It's been wonderful. And I get 3 comments. Love your ads. Where's your mom? And thanks for what you do for our community. I can't think of 3 better things that people say to me. And so when I started getting that early on, it was a little addicting. It's like, I can entertain in these ads. My mom and I have a riot doing it. Brought our relationship closer.
Oh, that's great.
We have super times, we laugh our butts off. We have some blooper reels because my mom is, a character. And what you see on the TV is who she is. And she's amazing. And so, just finding, and so the guy who does my commercials, a brilliant advertising man, Ross Lerner, has been doing it over 40 years. Because I mentioned him in my book, he's now, I think, in 13 or 14 states doing legal ads across the country. And he has this strange way that he can go in and find your niche and find what's special about you and find your differentiator. And I've watched him do it. And we all have it. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care how boring your business is. We all have something that makes us stand out. If you don't, well, I don't know how to help you. I mean, you got to find it. You got to do something. It could be your name. It could be a great phone number. It could be, a different service. But you got to stand out. Every business is seeking attention from the customer. Yeah. How are you going to get it? And so what I love talking about is like, let's find it. Let's find what makes you different, special. And maybe it's different types of testimonials or different, I don't know. But everybody has it. Yeah. Especially all successful people I know have it. Yeah. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about that and helping people find it. And it's super gratifying once you come up with a great tagline or a great phone number or a great premise, and then watching it work. It's fun.
Yeah. Was that always a part of, do you think you always had that in you, or was it something that to find that, because like there's ego and pride and all these things going into certainly being on billboards and all those things, right? And then to step in and say that, hey, I'm going to go humor in your space. Like what took that,
Yeah. So, well, and we talk a lot about ego when it comes to delegation. Yeah. And ego also plays a part in, billboards and whatever. But like one of my differentiators is being self-deprecating, which you got to have your ego in check if you're going to make fun of yourself. Yeah. Yeah. We have a commercial out right now that people love, Mike 1, Mike 2, that basically my mom's a bigger celebrity and star than I am. Well, that's an ego hit. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see my competitors doing that. Do you?
No. No.
So I just and people respond, and it's true. And my friends know, like, my ego is in check. We all have egos. Yeah. But my ego, I'm just self-aware about it. And when it rears its head and acts up, I know it. Yeah. And you can't fully delegate in any business if you don't understand your ego. Gino says, I've heard Gino say this in front of crowds of 1,500. Go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Understand your ego. I've been to therapy for many, many years.
Yeah.
I've read books on ego. I've read books on everything. And if you don't have your ego in check, you will not be able to delegate, because everybody thinks they're the best at something.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
If I asked you, what at your office can't anybody do besides you, or you're the best at? Do you want to play this game? Do you want to tell me? No? Okay. You're interviewing me. I'm not interviewing you.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But every
there aren't
lawyer,
many things.
Every lawyer I know raises their hand, and I pick them on the audience. I say, give me one.
Yeah.
And they'll say, nobody can try a better case than me. Got it. What about you?
Yeah.
Nobody can talk a client into doing what I want to do. Okay, great. Nobody can negotiate better than me. And and I had those things too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had a bigger list than those guys. Yeah. But once I realized that I was wrong, and that there's people way better than me at all those things, I started hiring those people.
Yeah.
And freeing myself up and letting them go try the cases, most of them. Letting them go negotiate, most of them. Letting them go deal with the clients, most of them, right? And that freed me up. But so many lawyers, most law firms in this country are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people.
Yeah.
I have 250.
Yeah.
We're not just the biggest in Michigan. We're one of the biggest in the country,
Yeah.
because I can delegate, and I can find great people, pay them high wages, treat them well. We have very, very, very little turnover. I have 60 people who've been with me over 10 years.
Wow.
I have a ton more over 15 and 20 years.
Yeah.
But but lawyers have sometimes unusual egos that they're like, oh, I have to do this.
Yeah,
right? I know a lot of doctors, same thing. Oh, I'm the best at this surgery.
That's what got them there, and that's
why their offices are one person.
Yep.
And they all said to me, Michael, I want to grow and I want to scale. I said, great, let's hire some doctors. Well, they can't do it like I can do it, or they're going to want to be partners, or this or this or this. And that's why it's a problem for most doctors.
Yeah.
And there's other professions. It's the same.
Absolutely. Not
picking on my doctor friends, but it makes sense. But train other people your way. Because I walk people in and say, this is my lawyer, Eric Simpson, who's been with me 20 years, and he's amazing, and I've trained him, and we've worked together, and he's going to handle your case. And my clients are like, okay, thank you, Mr. Morse.
Yeah.
Even though they're hiring the Mike Morse law firm,
right,
they're getting greatness.
Yeah.
And it works, and most people don't get it.
That comes back to the self-awareness part, right? And choosing. Well, Mike, this has been a real treat for me. I do like to do one thing at the end, which is a mistake, a failure, pick a word of something that you've done. Can go as deep as you'd like, personal, whatever it might be, that others can benefit from.
So I think a theme in my life has been, I was forced out of that job I told you about in 1995, and I think I should have quit. In 2011, I was getting 70% of my cases from one of the big wigs in this town, and he fired me in 2011, and I should have quit him earlier too. Mm-hmm. So, those are regrets, because somebody else had to force me to act. Mm. And I think those stories, if somebody's listening to this and they know they should make a move, don't wait. Make that move. Jump. Don't wait to be forced off that building, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. You're going to feel great about it. I didn't have the luxury to do that. That's not true. I take that word back. Luxury is not the right word. I didn't have the guts to do it.
Yeah.
And I wish I did. Things worked out for me. Don't feel sorry for me. Yeah. But if you're sitting on a decision to quit a job, start a business, stop taking all your referrals from one source and go out there and diversify. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. Do it now. Don't wait, because when that rug gets pulled from under you, it's painful.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's no recovering from it. So start now.
Yeah. You know what? That's great. There's a friend of mine, Coach Bob Schenefeld.
I know Bob very well.
Yeah. He has a saying, it's just jump. It's not that far. Right? Because really, many times when we're faced with a choice like that, we think, oh, I have all this. I've got this house to pay for, all these things that I can't possibly make that choice. I can't possibly go do that, whether it's hire that next person as an investment, hire a coach, right? The consequences generally aren't that bad, right? If you're willing to go bet on something, it's not that far of a jump. So I think that's great. Thank you for sharing that. Mike, again, this has been incredible. Thank you for taking the time. Appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to The Roll Call with John Glahn. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe for more insightful conversations. Remember, discovering your true role in life is a journey worth exploring each and every day. Until next time, keep defining your path and living your authentic self. This is John Glahn signing off.